Ziri's eyes. What was that? Unbelievable! Where did such a thing come from? And what of them? Surely you have not found them here, or we would not be having this conversation. Aye, would that we could have accompanied you up here. Perhaps then we could have caught Valdis in time. Aye, I'm afraid so. It is an elven town called Amanlu. Amanlu, are you well? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
You know why I have come. I cannot give you the Aegis. I will find it, with or without your help. But it is our sacred charge. The Aegis is my destiny. And the blood of Amanlu is on your hands. The princess, she has taken it to Snowbrook Haven. Please, spare my people.
have returned! He came searching for something, and when he could not find it, he flew into a rage. Hardly any have survived. But you are here? We heard you and Drevin had been assigned to Valdis's vanguard force and were commanded to siege Graylin Isle. Celebhel will be more than glad to have your help. He has been within the Altorn Hall ever since Valdis left us ruined. Forgive me, they need my help with the wounded. It's good to have you home.
Sweelard, Melonaman. While the tragedy of... Would you like to see the reagents I have for sale?
Do not mind the mess. These shelves were not built to take such a shaking. Let me know if you'd like something enchanted. Thankfully...
Melonaman, you are welcome to look around if you take care where you step. Not all of these spilled items are harmless. If you feel a prickling of the skin on your neck, do not be alarmed. These halls contain many frightened spirits who have not yet found their way across the sacred waters. Yes, I have always been in tune with the ethereal world in a way. I have spent much of my time collecting information about it, and I have even managed to come into contact with a ghostly spirit. Obviously, talking to spirits is impossible through normal means. Their words are completely unintelligible to our ears, even if the ghost in question has manifested itself enough to become visible to our eyes. Not necessarily. My research indicates that the Vaikesh cultists use ancient chants to communicate with the darker spirits, the source of their otherworldly knowledge. If I could know what they spoke during their dark rituals, I think I may be able to figure it out. Are you interested in helping me? The Vaikesh are much too cunning to simply leave such information lying around. I fear that the only way to learn the secret of their chant is to overhear one of their rituals. Seek them out in the Vaikesh forests and look for one of their ritual chambers hidden within their caverns. But beware, the cultists are not the only danger in this undertaking. The words themselves can be a threat to mortal ears. Do not give up your search.
put your back around those half-giants. They're not trustworthy.
It is good that you have survived the attack on Graylin Isle. I was prepared to put an arrow through you, but a vision stayed my hand. I would travel with you if you will have me. I thank you. Steady companions make all battles easier.
This is all a nightmare, you will see. Tomorrow we will awaken to the sound of flutes ringing in the dawn. The guests will be well rested and generous with their coin.
Interesting. I came here looking for one mark, but here I find another. I was expecting a different target.
That man nearly killed you. You are very lucky to be alive. I did not know if the rumors were true. Now I have seen with my own eyes. The assassins are at work, even here in Armand-Lou, as if we did not have troubles enough. Yes, he appeared from the shadows as if he were one with them. Such shadow-walking thieves have been noticed increasingly in the lands beyond the forest. Calrathia, once the very image of purity outside of Armand-Lou, is suspected of harboring the Assassin's Guild. Many of the Ed Hell know of it from travelers, and a few even visit it regularly. The merchant who owns this house left for Calrathia a week ago, in a great hurry. I hope he has not run into trouble with these honorless thieves. That I do not know. Perhaps you have angered someone you should not have. Did he say anything before he attacked you? Really? Very interesting. Merchant Kendrell is not all that well liked. He is a bit underhanded in his dealings, if you know what I mean. Still, that is not reason enough to kill an innocent. Are you sure there was nothing else unusual? What were you doing inside the house? Ah, you have a Leon Tearstone, the Spider Watcher's gift to the one he intends to kill. You should not have picked that up. That assassin's gift forever marks the target as his kill. It doesn't matter that you are not the contracted target. If you become entangled in his web, you are his. I am not sure what more to tell you. Although I do seem to remember an enchantress who visited us once and asked about such stones. I spoke to her at length. I am sure she will remember my name. If you are able to make it to Calrathia, look for Enchantress Valeria and tell her Danadel sent you.
So many elders have left us. If they had remained, their wisdom would have guided our children better than Valdis's gold.
Keep an eye out for Taklek. They've become bolder since Valdis's attack, as if we do not have troubles enough already.
Greetings. I am afraid much of the town now lies at the bottom of this cursed crater. As you can see, my shop has nearly been destroyed as well, but you are welcome to look through what little stock remains.
We have all lost loved ones to that cursed creature. My A-star will never again see the morning sun rise over the hills. I will sell you what little I have left. A perfectly balanced blade can make one forget one's grief, if only for a moment. So many wounded, so many dead. Oh.
I am glad you are back. I know that Celopel will want to see you. He has things to tell you.
glad, my good friend. It is good to have you home, even in times as dark as these. When the tragedy hit, I thought of you, and how strong you were when we became lost in the Ellenlu Isles as children. You seem much changed. I was wondering if you could help me with something, if you have the time, of course. Well, my grandfather died in the tragedy, crushed, along with everything I hold dear, save this, his staff. Do you remember it? He entertained us as children with bright and colorful spells, but now I cannot seem to make the staff function. It will not even cast so much as a simple spark. I think so. Grandfather instructed me well. However, he kept referring to the headpiece of the staff, but it no longer has one. I remember it well. It always glowed with the most beautiful swirl of colors. There is no way of knowing what happened to it. I think that I must replace it, but I do not know what reagent is needed. If you would help, old friend, I would be grateful. You are still the friend I once had. I will do my best to pull myself together, and I wish you good speed. Amanlu is in need of anything to lift its spirits. Have you found something with which to make the headpiece to Grandfather's staff? The memory of it is fading with every hour that passes. You do not seem to have any reagents at all. But you are a true friend to have looked. Please, do not give up. Something that fits this stuff must be available somewhere.
Sweet lad, if any of my archer guards give you trouble, come straight to me. Many of them are new, and so distressed by recent events that they do not know the difference between friend and foe. If you seek specialized equipment, I have something you may find intriguing. Well, not only am I a great marksman and fine trainer of the ranged arts, I have some expertise in alchemy. With a little help from you, I could put my latest theory to a test. Would you be willing to help me gather the ingredients? The story of the reagent known as Viper Claw is so ancient that its origins have been long forgotten. There were once 3 Azurite brothers, each unmatched in their expertise with a bow. The only true challenge they faced was against each other, yet they were all equal in skill. Each brother sought in secret an alchemist to create reagents to improve his skills. Unbeknownst to them, each had approached the same alchemist. Seizing the opportunity, the alchemist created 3 different reagents containing the same magic. He was paid threefold for the same work. Really? I admire his ingenuity. In any case, when the brothers applied the reagents to the bows, they challenged each other to a duel to the death. So great had their rivalry become. Each believed he had the upper hand. They met in the forests around what would one day become Amanlu. And, well, somehow they managed to kill each other. Despite their rivalry, so great were their spirits that when they died, the magic of their reagents dispersed into a burst of power to like objects throughout the area. Some still believe they can all be combined to make the single master reagent known as Viper Claw. All 3 ingredients into one. If any can do this, it is I. Excellent. I need you to collect the following reagents: jagged arrowheads, a griffin feather, and an onyx fragment. Hopefully you will come across these ingredients in the forests around Amonlu. Are you faring well in gathering those ingredients for me?
May the spirit of Estero guide your mind. The first sorcerer of the elves is always with those who apply his teachings well. Or perhaps you would like to hear a tale from the days of old. My tale is long and eventful. Do you have the time to sit and hear it? My tale begins in the sunrise of elven history. Long ago, in the age before this one, the elves were just mastering our gifts of foresight, empathy, and sorcery. In those days, most of the Edhel were akin to the mundane folk of Arana, blind to the arcane senses. There were few, however, who had begun to unlock the secrets of the ether world. The most advanced was a young elf, Arinth. Arinth was both a sorcerer and a craftsman. He created a beautiful staff and enchanted it with magics that amplified his abilities in a manner in which no elf had ever thought possible. But, well, this story does not end happily. Arinth's newfound power consumed him, scorching his mind until he was but a raving beast, stronger than all of the Edhel, save for two, Estero and Istora. It was they, the great leaders of our race, who, linked with the minds of all of our people, were finally able to rip the staff from Arinth's hands. Arinth's power, while dimmed without his staff, was still great enough to protect them both from final destruction. While Estero transported Arinth to a prison of his making, Istora separated the staff into its parts and secured them in guarded reliquaries across the continent. Time passed as it always does, and Arinth and his staff were relegated to the dusty tomes of legends, all but forgotten. Indeed, this tale was lost for an age, but as I was cleaning up the mess Valdis left us, I found a strange volume lodged in a crack in the wall. This house once belonged to Kirglithiel the historian, and this book contains his account. If Kirglithiel's words are true, then Arinth's staff must still exist, waiting to be found by one who can master it. That is not an outcome I have seen, Melonomin. Besides, your strength of will is very great. So, will you attempt to find the pieces of Arinth's legendary staff? I am certain that I can reassemble and return it to its former glory. Good. I have copied what I need from this book. You may take it. Perhaps it will help you locate the reliquaries containing the staff fragments. It mentions 3. 1 for the focusing stone, 1 for the jeweled shaft, and 1 for the carved rod. Alas, I do not. I am sorry that I cannot offer you more help.
There is no future in prospecting. Half the time the cursed maps lead to nothing, and the rest of the time when I finally find the right spot, the treasure has already been pilfered.
Ooh, that blasted Valdis! I will curse him with my final breath. Many of my animals are dead because of his justice. If you're gonna fight him, though, I'll sell you whatever wretched creatures I have left. Business? What business? Armonlu is a wreck. Oh, I sold pets in Calrathia, but the Morden showed up and caused trouble. So I moved to Armonlu, thinking it would be safer. Ha! Who would have expected Valdis himself to show up here? An honest man cannot even make a living these days. No, not now. If I were to keep anything valuable here, it would be that beast I once saw a Morden Grawl mage summon by accident. It was not huge, but it was very powerful. It had a large metallic horn, and it used some sort of power that stirred the Dervless into a frenzy. They kept attacking it, but to no effect. It is possible that Kartos the Wise might know more about it, but he wouldn't give me the time of day, even if I could find him. Kartos the Wise was the most powerful magician I have ever met. Unfortunately, he became complacent and took more interest in the bottle than in magic, if you take my meaning. He disappeared around the time the Morden attacked Calrathia. Some people think he died during the battle, but others say he just moved to a town somewhere on Graylin Isle. Me? I think he is just in hiding until safer times. He would not be hard to find, what with that yellow robe and the black boots and gloves he always wore. May have looked odd, but he seemed to like it well enough. Keep an eye out for that silver-horned beast. That kind of pet would make that...
You have returned. Not much of a homecoming, is it, child? Young Drevin, did he return as well? Many suspected as much. The elven heart is sensitive to such passings. He will be well mourned. This game of alliances is hellish to play. A single misstep can bring such terrible atrocities. Times have changed, my child. You have been away too long to see it, but our role in this war has weakened. At one time, Voldis sought our counsel. He has gone too far now. The power of the sword has consumed him, mind and soul. The tie is severed. Never will the elves bow to the whims of a madman. Voldis does not listen to reason now. He demanded the relic we have held within our shrine for generations. Even had he spoken courteously as he did once, I would not have given it to him. Still, it did not matter, as the princess had come and taken it already. Indeed, my child, you missed her by a few days. There was a precious relic, more dear than all the gold in Voldis's temples. Now that it is gone, I can tell you that the relic was the Aegis of Death. So, you have heard of this artifact. The Aegis are objects of great power. The princess pleaded with us to release the one we held, so that she could bring it to the safety of Snowbrook Haven and its full garrison. There, the heart of the Resistance wages war against Voldis's forces. With the Aegis, they may have the strength they need to crush his foul army. I could not refuse her. There is more at stake in this war than the safety of one small town. The princess and her royal guards carried the Aegis away on a caravan 3 days ago. It is safe for now. Its whereabouts are shrouded in a haze not even Amrin is able to pierce. And while Voldis is traveling to the castle as well, he will not take the same road. Her Highness meant to go by the old ways through the forests. Still, I fear the Aegis will be vulnerable soon. You are no longer driven solely by your own needs, I see. I am proud of you. It seems this place is not the only thing that has changed. Their route was to the south across the bridge. Unfortunately, there's not much left of the bridge now. It has been all we can do just to keep the fires from consuming the town completely. It will not be extinguished by mundane means, I'm afraid. Aye, she lives here still. Finola could perform that duty, were she not already occupied. She has taken it upon herself to travel to the Elenlu Isles. She means to activate the ancient Prism of the Elves and save this town. The Prism of the Elves was created by our ancestors. Isteru himself filled it with his own energy. It is to be used only in times of dire need, for its power will be greatly diminished long after its healing rains have ceased. You have my blessing, then. I will order the North Gate to be unlocked for you. One more thing, my child. You may want to stop by Dreven's childhood home. His sister, Driangel, received a letter from him a few months ago, addressed to you. His Stara be with you. Make haste. There is no time to lose.
It is tragic how many of the elves have died in this attack. It is my job to ensure we are well supplied with ranged equipment for the battles that will come. Whenever I have time, I develop our weapons further to gain whatever edge we may. I am always looking for new materials, especially those that will make our arrows fly truer and harder. That is the Amanlu orchid. You have probably seen the larger version around town. Its design is known around the land as a symbol of Amanlu and the elven folk. I'm a Fletcher, and always looking for materials that will improve the speed and accuracy of our arrows.
Hey, I remember you. Didn't you say you were going to find out about that strange stone in the Temple of Zyria for me? How did that turn out? Well, you have gone to a lot of trouble on my behalf. So here's something to add to your returns. Hopefully it will make it a little more worth your while.
While you were away, a horrible creature burst through the north wall and stole my hammer. I can make nothing without it. I may have to employ an entire battalion of guards just to keep this place clear enough for me to work in peace. If you can find my hammer, that will be a start at least.